Okay, so next two types of problems both deal with slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is just y equals mx plus b, where m represents your slope and b represents your y-intercept, or where we cross the y-axis. So for number 18, it says write the equation in slope-intercept form. We have two pairs of points, so we have neither a slope nor a y-intercept. That means we're going to have to find both. I'm going to start by finding the slope. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or you can reverse both if you like, as long as you reverse both. I'm going to keep it in that order just for the sake of using the formula. So y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is negative 1. So I get negative 4 over 3 plus 1 is 4, and my slope is negative 1. So the m's taken care of, but I still need b. So now is where you get to make a choice. Either choose the first point to use in your formula or the second. I normally like to use things that have zeros in them, but really it does not matter. You're going to get the same answer regardless of which point you choose. I'm going to pick the 3, 0. Now, in that 3, 0, I know that first value, the 3, represents an x, and the 0 represents a y. So I can go to my slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b and plug in those values for x and y. Okay, so the y was 0, the m we just found is negative 1, x was 3, and then I have a plus b. So 0 equals negative 3 plus b. Add the 3 over, and b equals 3. And now I have all the information I need to write the equation of my line. I have an m of negative 1, so y equals negative 1x, and then a b of 3, so plus 3. If it had been a negative value, I would have just made my equation minus that number instead of adding it. Okay, so the last problem is to graph an equation. I would like to graph it by getting it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to do that by moving the x's to the other side away from the y's. So now I have negative 6y equals negative 3x plus 12. Remember, put those x's out front because that's what it's like in the format. And then divide everything by negative 6. Okay, so y equals negative 3 over negative 6 reduces. Both of the negatives cancel. I'm going to write that as 1/2 x. And then 12 over negative 6 is negative 2. So to graph it, I've got the two values I need. Start with your y-intercept, your b. Remember, b can stand for begin. I'm going to begin at negative 2. On the y-axis, count down to negative 2, and there's the first point for the line. Then move your slope, so use your m for move. A slope of 1/2 means we're going to rise 1 or go up 1 and run or go right 2. So up 1, up 1, right 2. If you want to do it again, feel free as many times as you want, but please make sure you go back and draw the line with arrows on both ends, showing that this does go on forever. Also at the end, make sure that you do a quick check. Is this line showing a positive slope like it should? Don't let a negative mess you up. Okay. Now one last thing about equations. Remember, when you have a vertical line, there's two things we know about it. First, because it's a vertical line, it's x equals some number. X equals 3 in this case. Okay. Y can be anything. X equals 3. And also, I would say that this line has no slope. The slope does not exist. Right? Or I could say the slope is undefined. So a vertical line, the slope is undefined. It's always an x equals equation. The opposite would be a horizontal line. So let's say I have something like this, horizontal line. The only thing I know about this line is its y value. This is a y equals a number equation, like y equals 4 in this case. Okay? This line has a slope. It just happens to be 0. So I would say the slope is 0. There is a difference between an undefined and a 0 slope. Okay? Good luck.